We started stacking our logs in the summer of 2017 and completed the log work in 2019. Prior to what you are about to watch, I had never used a log scribe or done any log work. What I did do is buy Rob Chambers' DVD set and book on building log homes. I spent a lot of time watching his videos and studying his book. I highly recommend this book and DVDs if you are planning on building your first log home. Here's all our trees. 44 total. Every log was numbered and put on a list. It shows how long the log is, how big the butt is, and how big the tip is at both lengths I'll be needing, either 24 or 28 feet. Also, it notes any defects in the log and what kind of grain it is, spiral or straight. I also put key notes at the bottom and page references to Rob's book, so if I had questions in the field, I could flip open right to the page. I laminated this list, and as I used the log, I would mark it off the list. Here, Miranda is peeling one of our first logs with a Makita curve-based planer. This definitely was easier than using a draw knife, but still was a lot of work. Darren and I are ripping our first half logs. This was a brutal task because I was unaware that there was a such thing as a rip chain. You can see the saw smoking even though I have a new chain on the saw. So I ended up cutting as much of the other two half logs as I could on my sawmill. My sawmill can only cut 16 foot, so I had to cut the remaining 8 feet with my chainsaw. Here, I'm cutting my very first saddle.
This is us at our cabin putting up logs. This is the first one.
I used a Veritas log scribe. I remember after getting done with this log being very proud because this was my first time using a scribe or doing any log work other than cutting firewood. My log raising system was working as planned. If I could have changed one thing, it would have been to buy an electric hoist. The manual chain hoist was slow. Here, I'm actually watching one of Rob Chambers' DVDs.
Almost got it.
Go grab that chain.
Here, Aaron is trying to drag one of our next logs into place so that it can be filled.
It's like 7:30. It was a hot day today, so we had to get started on this kind of later.
While trying to roll a finished log into place, my peavey slipped and Miranda tried to catch the log. Her arm was smashed between the logs. She was hurting pretty bad for a couple days. We pounded half-inch rebar every few feet, being careful not to put it where there would be a door or a window. We painted all of the rebar to prevent rust from running down our logs. Here, I'm figuring out my shoulder heights so that I can select my next log from the log pile. Using Rob Chambers' rule made selecting the next log easy. You can see my math here written in the saddle. It says that I have a 6 3/4 inch shoulder, and I want my next log to have a 3 7/8 inch shoulder, and I'm going to have 1 inch lost to Scribe. So I add all this together, and that tells me my next log needs to have a butt around 11 5/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
The boys definitely put some muscle on this summer. Because my logs are going to shrink as they dry, I use 3 different Scribe settings. I would get my log level by cutting rough notches over the saddles. Then I would set my Scribe so that At the widest gap between the two logs, I would end up with at least 3 inches of log between the inside of the cabin and the outside. This is my groove setting. The notch setting was 3/8 of an inch less than my groove setting, so that all of the weight is in the corners. And then for the flyaways, I would open the scribe up 3/8 of an inch from the original setting, so that when the logs shrank and compressed, there would never be any weight bearing on the flyaways. I had 3 saws. One saw I always left a rip chain on for cleaning the groove and the flyaways or any time I was cutting with the grain. My other big saw always had a skip tooth chain on it, and I also had a little saw for the tedious work in the notches. We also used 4.5-inch angle grinders with 50 or 80 grit sandpaper to clean right up to all of the scribe lines. We were able to get 2 to 2.5 logs done in a 10 to 12 hour workday. So if I had 7 days off from work, 2 of the days were travel days, which only leaves 5 days to get work done. We had half the logs done this summer.